There are growing calls in Congress for the IRS to investigate the tax-exempt status of Bill and Hillary Clinton's charitable foundation. In a draft letter obtained by Fox News, Representative Marsha Blackburn writes that, quote, recent media reports have revealed that the foundation failed to report millions of dollars in grants from foreign governments that it accepted while Hillary Clinton was Secretary of State. It also facilitated private business transactions between foreign entities, and Blackburn writes that, quote, a prompt review of the foundation's tax-exempt status is appropriate to determine whether it is acting within the scope of its charitable mission. Sarah Westwood joins us. She's an investigative reporter for the Washington Examiner, and she has been following this very closely. Thank you for joining us, first and foremost.
Thanks for having me.
I want to start off, and we don't have to go too much in depth to this, but we had heard recently, and there's been reports that foreign governments may have the capability of even hacking that private server of former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton. Does that pose as a big foreign policy threat?
Absolutely. One of the big concerns with the private email server was that it flouted open records laws, but perhaps an even bigger concern was that it posed security risks. As our nation's chief diplomat, Hillary Clinton absolutely exchanged emails with foreign officials. They would have then known that the email address was not from a government server, and they could have made that leap on their own. There's so little that we do know about the server. We don't know what sort of security measures were in place protecting those emails, but we know that even at the top levels of our government, the State Department included, foreign entities have been able to successfully hack our servers. So the fact that these secret emails were being hidden on a private server raises a lot of concerns, because hackers are very sophisticated these days and they could have easily accessed Hillary Clinton's emails.
And to stay on the topic of the server, we know just this week, in fact, a federal court is requiring more information in regards to the communication between Hillary while she was Secretary of State and also the foundation, because some of those records have not been released. Can you elaborate on that?
Sure. There are a number of different outside groups that are suing the State Department right now in an effort to obtain those records. That's one way we might see these records come out, because the congressional committees who are doing this have not been successful in extracting them, so we might see the courts do this. They're trying to receive communications from some of Hillary Clinton's top aides, like Huma Abedin, like Chris Balderston, and their communications with the Clinton Foundation, because certainly their roles in orchestrating the foundation's donations and activities were crucial to understanding what Hillary Clinton's involvement was while she was in office.
Okay, and I want to shift gears a little bit and talk a little bit about the IRS, because we talked about it during the intro. There was a lot of attention this week. Lawmakers are putting a lot of pressure on the IRS to take more action and look into the tax filings. What can you tell us about what lawmakers are looking for? What do they want?
They want the IRS to take a look at what the Clinton Foundation was doing and ensure that it was purely philanthropic, that there was no quid pro quo going on, and that they do deserve their tax-exempt status. Certainly GOP lawmakers are motivated to do this because in past years we've seen the IRS scrutinize conservative charities for a lot less. And so we have more than a dozen, possibly 24 lawmakers signing on to a letter that's going to pressure the IRS into reviewing that tax-exempt status of the Clinton Foundation. And it gives some weight and some legitimacy to these charges that there were conflicts of interest going on. And it's not just the media that's bantying this about. Now we're seeing our elected officials take this issue up.
Okay, and I want to elaborate a little bit on the critics, because we know that foreign countries have donated to the Clinton Foundation, but critics are saying that there could be a conflict there. Can you elaborate a little bit on that?
Critics are saying that because these big checks were flowing into the Clinton Foundation from donors and corporations and government entities that had interests on Hillary Clinton's desk, that it could have ostensibly affected Hillary Clinton's decision-making when it came to those donors. They're saying, how can someone write a $100 million check to a foundation and not be owed a favor? It's a major concern when Hillary Clinton was making these policy decisions that, in some cases, did favor those donors. And critics want definitive evidence that the proper protocols were followed, that Hillary Clinton wasn't involved in foundation duties, and so far no one has come up with a substantive defense of her non-involvement.
All right, great. Sarah, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thank you.